So welcome back everyone to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan here. For today on the show, that's it. We're already having the best Wednesday by far because
Best.
having the show, the incredible, the amazing, the badass superstar, the legendary, the one and only, the incredible Natalie. Natalie, how are you today?
I'm doing good, Dan. How are you?
You're fantastic. What better way to have an incredible, super badass day than to be chatting with someone as badass as you? You know what I mean?
So sweet. That's very, very nice. I feel like you're quite the badass as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow. It helps a lot. But also, on the description below, you're going to find all of Natalie's social media. Let's follow her. Let's find out why she's super badass. We're on a mission right now. And
Let's
uh,
find out.
and without
Let's
further
see if
more,
you can find out why I'm badass, because I'm still searching.
there you go. I'm pretty sure we're going to find it today, but we'll
Yeah.
see. All right. Right. So I want to start this whole conversation by throwing out the first question, which is when you first stepped into acting, what did you think it would give you, and what has it given you?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think when I first stepped into acting, I was 6 years old doing musical theater. My parents signed me up, so I didn't have much of a choice, but I knew they were signing me up and I knew what I continued doing it for. I was a very shy kid, so originally I was joining mainly for the confidence. Like my parents just kind of wanted me to talk to people and put myself out there. And I remember the first time I went on stage, I just like and was supposed to do my audition, I just cried just on stage. So I was like, I kind of needed to do something that was like so out of your comfort zone, like performing on stage and like singing in front of a bunch of people. I really think that it helped me like grow into who I am, and it made me such an extroverted person. I think that I don't really know how I would have turned out if I didn't start doing theater, but I've turned into such an extrovert, and I feel like I love community now and I love performing, and I don't ever see my life without it. And so it's something that, yeah, I'm really grateful for. But I think now doing it for so long, what I've gained from it is I think it's just, and I didn't really know that this was what I was getting myself into, but I think you really do get to know like all the different colors of yourself. And I think that's like what's so beautiful about it. And the different characters that I've gotten to play, the different plays that I've done and TV and film that I've done, I think has really spoken it to like parts of my personality and has really made me who I am. And so I think from that, that's what I've gained from it, besides just the confidence thing.
And like at this point, what has been some of these the kind of the stereotype, yeah, like the whole stereotypes or even obstacles you have encountered during your career, and how have you kind of overcome them?
I feel like the main obstacle that a lot of people struggle with is the rejection is definitely hard. And I think facing that so often is difficult, especially when you're young and growing up and doing this because you're trying to figure out yourself, and being told no a lot feels like almost like a personal attack sometimes when you're so young and you're figuring out like if you or want to do acting. And I think that for me was really helpful to go through as a kid and in musical theater, even though like the stakes were the lowest of stakes. Like it was like yes or no to like if I was gonna be guest number one or guest number two or like whatever. So it really, like, I think helped me now that I'm pursuing this as a career, in that the rejection kind of just feels like sweat off my back now. It's something that's like so a part of it that I think when you get to know yourself and get to know your character types and what you play the best, the rejection doesn't hurt because it's like that role just wasn't for me. It just didn't fall into my lap, and I think the roles that are meant for you will come to you because you bring your best self to the role, and so you can't miss out on those opportunities. So now I feel like a lot better about rejection, and I think that it is like sweat off my back.
Hmm.
Yeah, but that is
Okay.
it's a tough one for
I mean, at
sure.
the end, nobody likes being rejected, right? So
No, no, yeah, not at all.
totally get it. Now, have you found that playing characters sometimes reveals truths about yourself that perhaps at that point you didn't want to face?
Yeah, I think yes and no. I think that sometimes in my experience with acting, maybe not truths, but more just like uncomfortable feelings that you don't usually like to feel, or like you haven't felt in a while, or you didn't really expect to come up. Sometimes that I feel like happens for me, and it's sometimes just it's hard to sit with those uncomfortable feelings if you're playing a character that needs to sort of feel that way or have that. But I think that it's very helpful because I think that each character and each time that happens, I learn something about myself. And yeah, like kind of like a truth or something that like I'm like, huh, this is interesting that this brought this up. Like I should think about this in my day-to-day life. Yeah. So I don't know. I kind of try to stay away from getting too dark into it, where I'm like, oh, this character is really affecting me. Like, I really do try to pull myself out of it and be okay because I think that you need to do that to be a professional on set. So yeah, I think yes and no.
Do you think the pursuit of recognition changes an actor's relationship with their craft?
I think yes. My answer is yes for that. I believe that if you're seeking recognition, from this career, I think that there's something deeper going on that you need to address. I think that if you're seeking, if that's the only reason that you're doing this, then you're not, I don't think you're going to be fulfilled. And there's something else that, you are trying to fill inside that you should think about and address. But I just always think that whatever someone's true intentions will always come out in their actions, even if you don't intend it to be. So, like with acting, if you are coming from a place of like fakeness, I think that that'll just always seep through your acting. And even if you really do all the training and all of the like you think that you're being real, I just think that the facade is still there if your intentions like aren't true and aren't with kind of, I don't know, best like the best version of yourself.
Okay. Now, how do you protect your own identity when you're constantly slipping into the lives of others?
It's a great question. I think that I'm very much the kind of person where I feel like I have 500 personalities happening at once. So it definitely is something for me that like I'm in my head about all the time. I never really have an issue with like a character, but I think what I have to tell myself, what I have to remember is like being yourself. When people say like be yourself, it's like the most complicated and also the most simple thing like ever. And I just need to remember actually how simple it is. Who you are comes naturally to you, so you shouldn't have to think about, oh, am I more like this or am I more like this, or should I try to be like this today or should I try to be like this today? I think that it should just come naturally. Like it really should. So I think coming out of characters and coming out of it, I really don't stress about it because I just am like, okay, I'm I'm back to being me, and I just am going to like be content with that feeling. That makes sense.
Tell me, what is your usual process after, shooting a scene or something like that? Like how you're able to return to be the real you? Do you have like a specific song, activity? Like what is your thing here?
A lot of the time it's probably just listening to my own music, or like I think throughout the day, throughout the filming day, I really do try to stay within the characters like borders. I'm not like in character, but like I do kind of try to stay within the same thoughts and kind of stay like within the scenes. But after the wrap or like the shoot day, yeah, I would say it's kind of just like naturally like listening to my music again, or like singing or dancing, like doing other things that I like to do on my off time. Yeah, it makes me feel like connected to myself again.
What song would you say that could describe you?
What song? That's such a good question. I have to pick a good one. Wishing on a Star, Rose Royce. Wishing on a star.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that song a lot. But really also like Taylor Swift, Gracie Abrams. They could speak to me forever and ever. Love them. Love those songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to discover why you're badass. You know what I mean? You're giving me these vibes now.
Yeah. I
I'm
don't know.
getting it. I'm getting it. I'm getting it for sure, for sure.
Putting
Um,
the puzzle together.
Totally, totally. Yeah, yeah. Like at this point, I'm like, okay, I see now. I see now. I see now. So, yeah, pretty cool. Now, if storytelling is a mirror of humanity, what part of humanity do you hope your work reflects?
Yes, I think that's a really good question. I thought about this one. I think that something that TV and film and really provides for humanity is the feeling of being understood and heard. And I think that that's like what I've gained the most from movies and TV shows that I like and performances that I like. I think that there's something about movies that makes really and theater and all works of art that makes things that almost feel like big topics that feel really digestible. Like it feels like you're better able to work through things when you're able to watch someone on screen go through something you've gone through or has felt something you've gone through. I think that that is something that is so beautiful that we can provide. And I've walked out of theaters feeling like so like almost comforted by a movie, even if it was such a sad movie or something, because it's like, yes, I've felt that before and I haven't been able to put it into words, but that movie like put it into words, like exactly. And I think in this like increasingly digital era that our world is becoming, I think that connection is sort of, I don't know, I think that we're becoming less like we're understanding each other and more everything feels very like two-dimensional, and I think that it's something that is so beautiful that we can provide for each other as humans. And so that's something that I really do want to portray through my art for like the rest of my career, is just helping people feel understood and making people feel like the things that they're going through are easier to cope with.
Now, do you think an actor's greatest performance is one that entertains, one that heals, or one that makes people uncomfortable?
I think it's one that heals. Just going back off the last answer. Yeah, I think it's one that heals. I think you can learn from ones that make you uncomfortable. I think also it is great to be entertained. Sometimes that's all you need at the end of a long day, but I think the ones that heal are like the ones that I really like to be a part of.
What do you think that is the cost of vulnerability for you? Not just in front of the camera, but in life.
I feel as if vulnerability is something that I really try to have in my life. And so I try not to let it cost me too much. I feel like it doesn't, I try not to let it, yeah, like let that happen because I feel like vulnerability is so important in this art form. I think once you lose your vulnerability, you aren't able to bring them to your characters and you aren't able to bring them to your relationships. And I think it just feeds into all of your relationships in your life. If you can't be vulnerable, then like what, yeah, like what is it for, kind of. So I think vulnerability is so important, but I do think that sometimes it's like I think the cost of it is for me particularly is I think sometimes it can be like too much for some people or be like almost not alarming, but I think I realize that sometimes people just connect in different ways than I do. And so I feel like sometimes it is my connection that is the cost, that vulnerability is. I think it's like some people just aren't on my level. I'm down to cry with someone like any minute of the day. If I just met you 5 seconds ago, like let's cry it out if we need to. But like let's just talk about anything. But not everyone's on that page, you know? And that's fine. That's totally fine.
Do you believe your art will outlive you? And if so, what do you hope it says?
I would love to be a part of projects and art forms that do outlive me. I think that that would be amazing. But I'm not quite sure what I would want it to say. I think it would probably go along the lines of sort of the things that I've like touched on earlier, like people to just feel connected and feel understood and heard by my art and feel like it's okay to like be yourself and accept parts of yourself that you feel like are not right or shouldn't like you feel like you can't let out that often. I think that that's something that also is so important and is very like lost, I think, in our day and age right now, is like really being true to yourself and your personality. I think it's a lot of following things and trends, and I just really do want to portray that through my art in the best way that I can.
Now, switching for our next activity, speed round questions, yes, no, or pass. Super simple. Gonna ask you a couple of questions in which you can only answer yes, no, or pass.
Okay.
You
Okay, I'm
ready?
ready. Hmm.
Cool. So, do you believe every role changes you?
Yes.
Have you ever turned down a role you still think about?
No.
Do you think rejection is a gift?
Yes.
Is acting more about truth than talent?
Yes.
Is starting small underrated?
No.
Have you ever felt more at home in a character than in your own skin?
No.
Do you believe success without pain exists?
Yes.
Have you ever considered leaving acting behind?
No.
Do you think the world still values great storytelling over quick entertainment?
Pass because I don't know.
Fair enough. Do you believe patience is more valuable than speed in a creative career?
No.
And a bonus question, can you cry on cue?
Yes.
There you go. Perfect. All right.
On a, if it's not windy outside, if all the circumstances are right, then yes.
Fair enough. I'll take it. I'll take it for sure. So before wrapping up, tell me, if this conversation was the last time you ever spoke about your craft, what would you want to leave behind in people's hearts?
Be yourself and stay true to yourself.
I'll take it. I'll take it
Mm.
for sure. And like what motivates you? You know, we all have those days that basically we just want to quit. It's inevitable, happens to all of us. So how you stay positive on one of those days?
I think for me, it's coming from a place of my dream life and the way that I'm the happiest I know is acting and I know is pursuing this. So they're really just on those hard days, I think I just have to come back to the reasons why I started it in the first place. And I think specifically about certain moments that have made me feel like alivened by the work. Because sometimes I think when you're in between jobs in this career, it feels like sort of pointless. Like you're just sending in tape after tape after tape. You don't know if anyone's even watching them. You're like, what even am I doing this for? And I think I have to think back to moments on set or moments in acting class or moments I did a play like years ago where I was like so fulfilled and felt like that feeling in my chest. And that kind of brings me back to it a little bit. And I think making fun of the day to day kind of like self taping of it all. Like if the self taping or just the I think maybe like, or the rejection is getting to you, finding a way to make it fun again for yourself, I think is the key. Yeah. So that's
Okay.
the advice I would give.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And my last question here. So we can all enjoy and relax after an epic chat. So, you ready?
Hmm.
What do you think that could be the best title for this episode?
Okay. Okay. This is stressful. I think I want it to be, is this too long? Everything you have is already within you.
Like it. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I think that it's just important to remember that, like, as an artist, sometimes we feed and hear everybody's opinions around us. But really, at the end of the day, I think you know yourself best. And if you feel like the things that are holding you back are outside sources, I think really, truly, you have everything that you need to beat those obstacles. It's all, already within you.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm. Yeah, I like it. I like it. That's pretty cool. Sounds like a franchise to me. Who knows? Just saying.
Yeah. Hey now.
All
Maybe
right.
I'll put it on a bumper sticker. Make some
Yeah.
money.
I mean, at the end, what can I say? The fact that you're doing what makes you happy, that's super badass. We all know that focusing on something that is outside the typical 9 to 5 corporate jobs, like all of that, it tends to be a pain in the butt sometimes, for sure. But you're making it happen. And what I find amazing is that you're not also creating cool characters, cool story, cool music. No, no, no. I mean, besides that, you're also showing us that dreams are possible. And I think that kind of powerful message, super positive, something that we definitely crave right now, especially now in this crazy day and era. The fact that we can rely on you, who are giving us some positivity around with what you do, that's amazing. And now I discover why you're badass. So
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. Can I ask you a question?
yeah, go for it.
What made you want to start interviewing and talking to artists and actors?
So I kind of started the yeah, I started this due to basically an existential crisis. You know, I was
Oh.
I was working in another company, and in that company I just didn't like it anymore. I worked there for 3 years, and it just kind of pissed me off the way they were treating people, that
Mm.
they were constantly saying things like we're family, but then the next day, boom, you're fired, or things like that, and it just kind of I don't know, it was kind of making me stressed because I was like, so this is gonna be my life now, you know, working in this company for the rest of my life, and then at some point they're gonna fire me because I'm not gonna be young enough. And then they're gonna, yeah, they're gonna take me away, put someone younger, and then at some point it's not gonna even look that I even worked there at the first place. You know what I mean? Like I never even like I already never even existed there. Let's say, right? So then I saw this guy on YouTube that he interviews actors, but specifically actors who do voiceover or motion capture for video games. I saw one of his
Oh,
episodes
cool.
and I was like, I want to do it too. So I started to pitch the whole idea on how to make it happen and what, you know, what interests me the most about interviewing actors, musicians, writers, directors, models, like all of those people are that are kind of basically are doing their job out to outside the box, and they're actually showing how. That kind of got me curious to see like how is that possible that they are able to do it and not the rest of us. You know what I mean? Like either there's a trick there or something that I might don't know about. So I started to pitch the whole idea to kind of make it happen and yeah, and what I have discovered is that at the end of the day, it all depends on you. You know what I mean? That you don't need like a secret formula or a secret trick or no, it's just super simple. Just start doing it. And from that you can actually create something cool. Sure, it's gonna take a lot of hard work, a lot of stressful moments if you want to say it, sure, but at the end it's just part of the whole thing in order for you to start building what you want the most. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And with that, with that, I have interviewed people from all over the world, people from so many stories. There's been some incredible stories that have kind of hit me because wow, like some people that they actually had like a really rough time, and they were able to change it into something positive now. And at the end, that kind of shows you that it is possible. I do think that sometimes no matter how difficult the situation might be, sure, it's challenging for you to see the light or for you to see a possibility for you to continue moving forward. But at the end, it is possible.
Yeah.
And it takes time, sure, and it takes a lot of hard work, but it is possible. And at the end, that is also one of the reasons why I do this podcast because somehow this has become kind of my therapy.
No,
Because
that's nice.
I could get the chance to hear from so many stories how many people get motivated from in million different other reasons and all of that. It kind of shows you that at the end you're not alone. That sure you have problems just as everybody else, but once you're able to kind of speak them out or to speak with other people, you can totally see that some people are just facing the same problem as you, or probably they faced it years ago, or they're about to as well. You know what I mean? So it kind of
Mm.
shows you that besides art, as we were saying, that how much we kind of needed to connect. It kind of shows you at the same time how much humans can connect with each other if we are able to kind of open our feelings to it, to kind of share how we feel. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's so beautiful. I love that. I love that so much. Yeah, I never thought about it like that, but um, I think that it's really, really fascinating, this career, like especially musicians and models and actors. I think that I never thought that it was possible either. Like, oh, really? You can make all your money just doing that? But it is very possible, and it is something that I think you're the only person who you tell yourself that it's impossible. And so, yeah, you just have to try it.
Yeah.
See what happens.
No, you need to work on
that's really, really cool. I love that you're doing this. This is so fun. And I think that it's really nice for actors to be able to like talk about these things. And yeah, just really cool.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, at the end, like another quick thing that that I want to add is that I don't care if someone has, I don't know, 5 million followers or 1,000 or 50 or 100. I mean, at the end, you can get so much learning from someone who has 1 million followers and from someone who has one. You know what I mean? At the end, following, yeah, like this whole media thing that depends on how many followers you will be treated in a way. I find it ridiculous. So at the end, for me, I'm like, I just want to speak with everybody who wants to talk, you know, and to share their story, and to be able to that story to stick around forever, you know, for whoever is passing through YouTube or to Spotify. They find my channel and they like it, and somehow they can get inspired, or they can just have like a cool conversation so they can kind of disconnect or whatever to make them feel good. I think that's kind of the ultimate goal. You know what I mean? So
yeah, totally. Love that. Love that. I agree.
Thank you.
With everything you said.
Thank you. So I do want to thank you for making this happen. I do want to thank also those who stayed the whole episode. Let us know what you think in the comments below. But by this point, you should know why Natalie is super badass. So let's follow her. Let's share some love. Hashtag Team Natalie. Let's make her viral. And again, thank you for making this happen. Have an incredible rest of the week. Keep shining, keep rocking, keep kicking ass. And I'll be seeing you in the next one.